Hi, everybody. This is Tina with Rehatch Designs, and this is going to be part three of my 2021 craft room organization. And quite honestly, you know, uh, I really didn't expect it to be like a four-part thing, but I kind of decided that I needed to do my desk and my desk area separately from the room because otherwise it would be a 2-hour video. And this is a detailed desk tour and everything that I have around my desk that I use. So you can kind of see the setup that I have and how I work. Um, and that's what this is going to be, a detailed desk and around the desk tour. And then I'm going to do another part where I do a detailed craft room tour. I do want to preface all of this. First off, I'm walking around the room and I have my camera that I'm holding in my left hand as I am videoing and pointing with my right hand and pulling drawers out and doing that kind of thing. So it will be shaky at times. I will do my best not to do that, but it's kind of unavoidable. I don't have a camera crew. So, try not to judge too harshly. Also, too, I am not doing this video as an organizing guru because I'm definitely not that person. If you're watching this wanting that, you're watching the wrong video. Um, Also, this is not the finished product. This is just a week of me. If you watch the before that's in the playlist, this is just me picking up, getting my craft room to a point that I can start doing the real organizing and cleaning and stuff like that. I haven't vacuumed all the floors all the way. I've just kind of swept them. I haven't dusted. I haven't cleaned off all my surfaces well. I haven't done any of that. I haven't gone in my drawers and reorganized them. I had to get my craft room to a point that I could use it. Now, I could stop at this point and I would be just fine. It wouldn't bother me. But I do know that I can do a little better. But I also know that it'll take me a month probably to go through every drawer and everything that I have and organize it all. And I'm not going to wait a month to get back to crafting. So, what I've decided I'm going to do is take this in kind of bite sized pieces. And each week, I'm going to go to an area and work on trying to get that organized and um, figuring out solutions. And I will probably do a video on those maybe once a week. And mainly, I'm doing it to hold myself accountable because if I promise to do that and put it out for you guys, then that kind of makes me have to do it because otherwise I could live with it at this point. My craft room is my craft room. It works for me. It is not a Pinterest worthy craft room. It is not a all matching great furniture craft room, and I have no issue with those craft rooms. I watch videos all the time, and I think, oh gosh, that would be great. Um, and honestly, guys, I can afford to do that. I have the room to do that, but I really choose not to. And I choose not to because this works for me. It really works for me. The size of my craft room works for me. The thriftedness of it works for me. The not perfectness of it works for me. Um, and I think it's because it reflects who I am. Um, those other craft rooms, as nice as they are, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable in them. I would be afraid to mess them up. Okay. I don't like things too perfect because it puts some stress on me. Okay. It really puts stress on me if I were to get a brand new desk and brand new, cabinets. And it would be stressful for me. Let's just put it that way. Also, this is a hobby that I do make a little money at. Net, probably not. I probably lose quite a bit of money. But it is a business for me in the fact that I do have an Etsy store. I do sell some of my things I produce and other things. And I do that mainly to support my hobby. It doesn't really provide me any real income. YouTube provides basically no income. And if anybody, I am monetized. I have enough viewers, etc., that I am. But the amount of money that you get is so minimal, people. If you're ever thinking about doing this, don't for a minute think that you're going to make money from YouTube by itself. It's just not. I mean, I guess there are people who do, but in this particular genre, I don't think you can make a lot without having, 20,000 subscribers. I just can't see that you could make. You're certainly not going to make enough to, uh, you know, provide a living. Okay. The other thing is that because that is my hobby and my business, I have a lot of stuff. And um, I am retired. I retired about 2 years ago. I worked on and off full time in banking all the years I raised my kids, and I was working full time. I put them through college, and then I retired. And I have accumulated more stuff since I retired because this has become an outlet for me, a way to and crafting has always been an outlet for me. It's not a new thing to me, but I've been able to spend the kind of time doing it since I've retired, and I'm at that point, and I make enough money doing this. I also do classes and other things, and I do it to support this habit. Okay. So don't think that you need to have all these things that I have in order to do the things that I do or even other crafting, because you certainly do not. Um, don't even think you have to have a craft room. I have never had a craft room until we came to this house. And actually, I had one in our old house when my oldest son went off to college, and then he moved back, and I had to move it out. I moved it out to the patio, but it never took. It's just all I can say. And so, I basically had originally a armoire and a couple shelf units that you'll see in my detailed craft room tour that have come along with me from place to place. And, they still work. I'm sure I could get something better. And if I move again, I will probably do that, but because I don't know if they'll survive a move. But the thing about it is, though, guys, I have crafted out of, just a suitcase, basically, out of a closet, out of the dining room table. I'm at this point now because this is where I am in my journey, okay? And everybody's going to be at a different point in their journey. And you may not be at the point that I'm at now. This may be something that you try and get to in the future. But this is really out. I'm putting this out there to kind of share my journey. And if you're anywhere along the way I am, maybe this will help you. Okay. But, and also I want people to realize that you can have a very functional, reasonably aesthetically pleasing craft room without spending a ton of money. That being said, I have no problem buying things full price if it's exactly what I need, and it serves the purpose well, and I know I'm going to use it. I have no problem doing that. Um, there are a few things here and there that I have paid full price for because they fit a specific need and nothing else will. And, so I don't have a problem doing that. I don't have a problem buying good equipment. I don't have any problem doing that because I think that kind of stuff. See, I think that's what in my mind, I like to spend my money on rather than buying new furniture that, full price. I'll go out and look for it and see if I can find something to work. And then I like to spend my money on the equipment that I buy, my printers, my scan and cut, my die cutter. I like to have that stuff because I use it and it helps me do what I want to do. And it's I kind of have always liked those kind of things. And that's just something that I like to have in my hobby, and that's where I prefer to spend my money. You may be someone that says, no, I never use that stuff. I'd rather have, all the nice furniture. I'd rather, you'd rather have less stuff. And that is you, and that is your journey. And, everybody's going to have to find what they think is going to work for them. A lot of the stuff that I do have in this room is what I use now. And the biggest thing that I've learned from moving from place to place, your craft room needs are going to change constantly. Just like cleaning out your closet. Unfortunately, last year I lost a lot of weight. Unfortunately, this year I've gained a lot of it back. So the clothes I bought last year don't fit me. The ones I had 2 years ago when I was working, I no longer need. There's shoes I used to wear all the time that I would never wear now, etc., etc., etc. And so your craft room's kind of like that. I used to do a lot of different crafts that I still have things in here that probably need to go. They just need to go. I need to get rid of them, or I need to move them to another part of my house. I have room in one of my garages where I have some shelves where that stuff goes. Some of it I give away, some of it I throw away, but the stuff that I just can't get rid of, that I'm not using all the time, that I may want to look at later, I put that somewhere else. Because I have a small room and I don't want it cluttered with things I'm not currently using. Okay? That's the one big thing I learned. The other thing I learned is everything needs to have a place to go. Cleaning up this craft room was not as bad as you might think, because believe it or not, just about everything in that was laying all over the floor, if you saw my other videos, and all over my desk, it had a place to go. I really had already allotted places for it. So you kind of have to have a place for everything to go. And if you do that, even when it gets really bad, you can kind of put everything in one section, sort it all out, and put it where it belongs. So that's something that I think I've accomplished. I can do better. Those places need to be more organized. No doubt. And also, you'll find as you're doing things, especially today we're doing the desk tour, as you're working, you're going to figure out what you need by you. what you can put in the other side of the room, what works better, what you want on your desk, what you don't. And that, once you do that, you can rearrange. But then, what'll happen is your needs will change. You'll do different things more. You may move to a different thing. You may use mixed media more. You may use, more cut. It just depends on where you're at. And so those needs will change all the time. Lastly, the thing I want to go over is the steps in these videos. My first video, I got a few comments. It wasn't really to tell people how to organize. It was just to say, here I am, here's my journey, and this is where I'm going. And I showed in my last video some of the steps I was taking to get to that place, and then finally what the room looked like when I got to it. Again, I'm not at my final stages. I haven't vacuumed. I haven't dusted. I haven't cleaned. When you see the desk tour and the detailed tour, that is basically my starting point before I get into the heavy duty organizing and cleaning. Okay. That's a starting point. So I do realize that I need to do a lot more. I do realize I have to go through things and sort more. I do realize I need to dust. I do realize I need to do some vacuuming and whatever. But this is my starting point. This is my starting desk tour. I'm going to try, as I'm doing this, the desk tour and my room tour, talk about the things that work for me, but also the things that aren't working for me that I'm going to try and change, and why I'm going to change them, and what I think I might do. And of course, what I think I might do may not be what I end up doing, but I'm going to try. Okay, so anyway, this is going to be my detailed desk tour, and I'm going to show you everything on my desk, around my desk, and how I use it, and the things that I have near me that I reach for, and how I make it work. And this might help you. Okay, so anyway, that's coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the video and then start the tour. So, okay, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and start my desk tour. I'm going to do my very best not to have things shaking too much. What you're looking at now is kind of an overview of what it looks like when I'm sitting at my desk and I'm doing a video. And that's kind of how I'm going to go at it in the beginning, and then I'm going to go through and show you all the other things that I have around my desk. Okay. First off, when I'm sitting at my desk, I have in front of me, you can see these containers, okay? And these 4 containers are empty, and they don't always stay that way, but they should be. I take these 4 containers and I have them in front of me, and this is a shoe rack, this white thing that I got from the Container Store. And it was relatively inexpensive, easy to put together. And even if you're not doing videos, this is a great idea for vertical storage on your desk or something. I could actually fit 2 of these on here, but I just have the one. And this helps me so much, because if I didn't have this, I would have things all over my desk, sitting all over my desk. So this is very, very helpful for me. It helps me when I do my videos for a lot of reasons, okay? I have things in front of me. If I'm doing something, I just pull it down, and those are the supplies I need for that video. And I'm not jumping around the room trying to get them. Above that, I have these trays, and these are all, this is plain paper, And this is patterned paper scraps that I can grab a piece anytime I'm doing something and use it so I don't have to go searching, okay? It's just right there. These need to be emptied out more. They're way too full. This is just kind of miscellaneous stuff, like envelopes and tags and things. And I just throw, or really small pieces of paper, and I just throw it in here. You know, if I want to do a tag or a bag or a receipt or something like that, I can just grab it out of here instead of going to where I have it all in my supply closet, okay? On my desk, you will see my washi tape and other things. I'm going to move, well, let me show you these first. This is just a business card holder that I got from the dollar store, and I use that to hold my glue like this. And I do that because it keeps your glue ready to use. I used to just leave it on my desk like that, and it tends to roll all around, so I put it in there, and it just kind of stays there. This is so that I can hold my glue upside down, and you can see all the glue and stuff on here. But this is when it gets real empty, gets close to the bottom, and I use that. Let me move these out of the way so that we can get to the other thing. This thing, I just have a little holder here, and I have this little plastic jar here because I always end up with little bits and pieces all over the place. And even when I, you know, vacuum or sweep the floor, I'll find them. And I don't want to go through the trouble right then of putting it away. So I'll put stuff in here. And this is really getting super full. So I really need to empty it out. But when I feel like it, I just go empty it out. And every once in a while I'll be doing something and there's something in there that I think, oh, that'll work. And I pull it out. There you go. This is simply... I got this at the dollar store. What I love about it, I think it's for candles. It's super heavy, and I put a little bling on it. But I put, you know, clean water in there if I'm, you know, using it for painting or whatever I'm needing it for, just a little water. And it's because it's not going to spill. So that's what I love about this. Okay, so I'll use it for that. This is just some empty little trash can containers I keep on my desk, so if I want to put stuff in them, I can. All right, these drawers here, I got these on Amazon, and they're sunglass cases. And the cool thing about them is, for some strange reason, they fit perfectly under the shoe organizer. I mean, perfectly, okay? Really weird. Each one of these comes like this, so there's four. I got 4 of them, and they just fit right under there. It's just bizarre, but and I velcroed all of these to each other on the side, and then I velcroed them on the bottom to the table so that they wouldn't move when I pulled them out. Basically, I have washi all in this one. I have washi in this one and some other tape in the back. Washi in this one. And I think washi all in this one. This is the one I use the most. That's the extent of my washi that I use, except for the ones I use in my planner, and I'll show you that later. This is kind of office stuff here. This is just paper clips and rubber bands and clothespins. Not the paper clips. I don't usually use these in my journals, but that's just for office stuff. Over here, these are all pens, whiteout, sticky notes. Here's some more in here. And this is not for crafting. That is mainly for me to use in my journal. And that's really the only purpose those have. Let me put this back. But that's kind of, this is how my desk is usually set up. I have this in front, except when, you know, I'm throwing stuff everywhere, and then before you know it, it's ridiculous. These are my glasses I keep in this little container, and it's just, I have some that are just regular strength, some that are super strength, and some that I use for a lot of computer work, and I mainly did that when I was working more. This is my little turntable thingy that I have over here, and I have it to the side, and when I'm crafting, this is what if you hear me digging around, usually that's what it is. This is a smaller one that I got at Tuesday Morning, and I was tempted several times when they have the bigger ones at Michael's on sale or Hobby Lobby, but you know what, honestly guys, I like this one. You'll see why in a minute. I have other stuff on a pegboard next to me. I can't imagine that I need anything bigger than this. It serves everything. I have my 3 main scissors that I use. I have my bone folders. I have a couple of paint brushes and tools. I've got pencils that I might use. I've got some other tools that I keep over here. And that's, you know, I don't need any more than that. So anyway, that's where I keep this right over here. And so that's what I have right next to me here. Behind that, this is a little, it's a letter holder that I got from Tuesday Morning, and it's kind of heavy. It's wood, and I needed something kind of heavy duty for this purpose. I use this to hold on my desk, and it's kind of off in the corner. This is my little small guillotine cutter. I've got a small envelope punch board, a small score board. I've got my stamping platform, one of them, and then I have another one here behind that. Behind that, I've got my bigger envelope punch board, and that's all in that thing. And the cool thing about it is that I can just keep this on my desk in the corner and know that these are things I use all the time. I have other punch boards and stuff, but honestly, I don't even use them. Some of them I think I've never used. I do use these occasionally, and I have learned that if I have things easily accessible and I don't have to go through a lot of work at getting them out, then I will actually use them. So that's what I have learned. You know, everybody's different, but it's just how I am. I don't like to go through a lot of trouble. Okay, so that all fits in there, and it sits right there. This sits right over here. And so it goes back a little more. I just spin this around. I can get what I want. Very easy for me, okay? The other thing I have at the top of my desk is I have this case here. And this has all my buttons. Not all my buttons, actually. Just kind of a lot of my white buttons. You know, they're all vintage. These are my colored ones. These are just my brown and black ones, more colored ones. And this is just a thing that I have string in. I keep all my extra string so that I have them in there. This is a little thing that has thread and needles handy, just because, honestly, and I have like a little scissors in there, because I have to have thread in my buttons when I put them on things, because it, I don't know, kind of drives me nuts. All right, oops. I'm doing this all one-handed, so. Also, you'll see I have these lights here. These are very old. I would say about 20 years old. And the funkiest thing about these, I don't want to jinx it, but I've had the same light bulbs in this since I used it, and I use them all the time. I have 2 of them on my desk. The cool thing is they don't take up a lot of room. I can move them around. They provide a lot of light. I have another light right behind me right here, and this light has like a neck that swings, and it provides light behind me, okay? So, and also the cool thing is I can turn it around. It's on a clip. When I'm using my sewing machine, I just turn it, and then I can direct it where I want it to go. So right now I have it pointing in the direction I need. I have these lights over here. Right now I have them pointing in another direction to add more light to the room. because I'm showing you different parts of the room. But these all, I have them. They would normally be on a tripod, but I attach them to my shoe rack because I don't want anything that big on my desk. I didn't want anything like the big umbrella lights. I don't have room for that in my craft room. And I think most of the time my videos have plenty of light, so I'm happy with that. My other equipment that I have, let me try and stand up slowly, this is my microphone. I used to use a clip-on microphone, and there's nothing wrong with that except for, and I still use it sometimes. But I like the freedom of not having anything attached to me while I'm videoing and crafting. Anyway, that is attached to one of these shelves off to the side. And what's great about that is I don't have to have a stand or anything coming from the ceiling. It comes all the way off the side. The same thing, this is where I put my phone. I film with my phone, or sometimes my iPad. I change this out and I can put my iPad on there. So, you know, this attaches also here. I have my headphones on here for when I attach it to, you know, do voiceovers or anything like that. But this is also attached to a little higher shelf, and this sits above me for me to do my videos, and attaches to my microphone. So that setup works really well for me. I got everything off of Amazon. So if you're curious, and I did not spend a lot of money on it either, guys. This is relatively inexpensive equipment. Okay, so the next part, let me show you. I'm going to try and move slowly. Oops, too much light. Okay. This part of my desk, when I'm sitting at my desk, I can pull this out. And this is, let me move this over here. Okay. This is my big guillotine cutter that I use all the time. I believe it's Martha Stewart. I don't think it's made anymore, but I love this thing because it has this little guide, this little stop guide. And so when I'm doing my journals and I'm wanting to cut things the same, you know, size, I can do that very easily. I also have right next to that my large scoreboard because I use it all the time. And so I use these constantly. So I have it in this little, I made sure I had a little gap right here so that I could put that, and I can easily, I can grab these while I'm sitting in my chair, even while I'm doing a video. This stuff over here is kind of office stuff that I like to have on my desk because I use it all the time. This is my little spiral notebook that I keep track of all my giveaways. This has to do with any orders that I have or any purchases that I make for the orders. This is any income and expense that I have. This is my laptop that I keep here. My iPad I keep here. This is all of my shipping paperwork that I have. This is just kind of like stamps and stuff, and that's more of labels and all that. This is my planner that I have, kind of like a double planner. I have a personal planner and a kind of a just for my videos in there, and I have them kind of Frankenstein together. This drawer, oh, and by the way, this little divider thing that I have all this right here, I got this off of Amazon. I looked and looked and looked because I was really looking for kind of a specific style, and this worked out perfect because it had all the right, you know, configuration, and it had this cool little drawer. And in this drawer I have, this is my washi that I use on my planners, and these are my, here's a little bit more washi, and then these are my stickers that I use in my planner. So that is what that is. Okay. Now I think what I'm going to do is I am going to show you, let me show you behind my desk and under my desk, okay? Because I'm going to try and walk slowly and move slowly. This is valuable real estate to me because I have, I have a small room, so every inch matters, okay? These boxes are all filled with sewing stuff, thread and all that kind of stuff. That's all that's in there. And this is underneath. These are pillows that I really don't use, but sometimes my back hurts when I'm crafting. This stuff, this right here in this was my pink thing that I had filled. And this is all stuff that I use kind of for backdrops in my videos. Let me get this cord out of the way. That's what all of that is. The next 3 bins, this one and this one and this one, are all filled with material for journals, okay? Some of it I am going to put in my Etsy store, and then some of it I will just keep. Right here, this isn't really under it, but it's next to it. I have this bag, and it is filled just with stuff that I use to make boho beads, and I do that so that I can take that with me. A lot of times when we go on trips, on short trips, I take that because I have to craft at some point. I can only usually go 2 days without crafting, and I start having withdrawals. So that's kind of something I take with me. I kind of leave them in there. This is an empty old train case, and I keep it empty so that if I am going to go on a trip crafting or something just for a few days, I fill that up. Okay, so I'm not really going to go. This is on my desk, and this is like just a cupcake holder thing, but I have this on there. I can lift it off so I can get to the things back here. I'm not going to go on the things back here because I'll do that on the other tour. But I always usually have a scent warmer or candle or something on when I'm in my craft room. Okay, so that's kind of that. Okay. Oh, I didn't go over this. Let me go slow. Trying to go slow. I have 4 of these containers under my desk, and they fit perfectly under there. And in this one, I have all my extra paper. When you buy paper, you buy it in large quantity. So that is all that's in there, okay? And I'm going to walk slowly over here. Okay. So now I think I'm going to try and turn these lights around so you can get more light over here. Okay. All right. So now, let's see. All right. So now up here, let me turn this light around so you get more light. I'm trying to adjust the light, film, and do everything all at the same time. Not an easy task, guys, and not move too much. Okay, so when I'm sitting at my desk, I will just do that so you can see. I have this caddy right here that I love, it's the Tonic Craft, and I think this cup holder thing's an addition. I usually always have a cup in there. I almost always have a bottle of water in here. In here I have, right here I have attached with just a clip, just a cotton cloth, and honestly I get these at the dollar store when they get nasty. I throw them all in the wash together. Some of them, when they get really bad, if they have a lot of glue and stuff on them, I just throw them away. This is for my glasses, to clean my glasses off, because I'm constantly needing to do that. These are my most used glues here. I usually keep them right there when I'm not crafting, like this would normally be in here. Okay. These are my distress inks I use all the time. My vintage photo, my old paper, my walnut stain. And I have those right here. And then right next to them, I have the little inkers, and I have some sponges that I use with them. Next to the other glue, I have glue that I don't use that often, that I just like to have handy. This container is just a plastic container I got from the dollar store. This always, I clean it out. It looks kind of nasty because it probably is. I clean it out, when I say that loosely, and I put a couple drops of soap in there, just liquid soap, and I always have it handy, so when I'm using a paintbrush, I can dump it in there and get to it when I get to it, and I don't ruin my paintbrush. These things right here, this is just all of my remote controls, just for my TV. It's ridiculous, but that's what I have. These two rulers I use all the time, so I keep them close at hand. I have my little coffee warmer thing, which is very important to me. I have it on a little tray. I usually always have a bottle of water. This bowl right here, this little fish bowl thing, I have just my wide scraps that I want to keep. I use these a lot when I'm making journals on tags and things like that, so I keep those handy. And if I have it in this clear bowl, and this is kind of dead space over here, so it doesn't really hurt for me to have it there. Behind here, this is my chocolate stash. This is my allergy medicine. And behind there, I just have a few little paper cups. I have my Yes glue back there. Not sure why. It shouldn't be there. Wrong spot. I have some more clips. And let me go to my shelf. This is all reachable for me, okay? I have paper towels here, and it's my paper towel holder from a dollar store. It's just clipped to the shelf, so I can just grab paper towels anytime I want. These are just my cleaners mainly. This is alcohol, which I use all the time. I was having a really rough time when we couldn't find alcohol. And this is a very, very well-loved container, but works fine. I have this green alcohol that I got from the dollar store. I got, this is just water back here. This is another cleaner. I have hairspray that I use to seal things in the very back. And I have, this is my stuff that I spray, my alcohol ink diluted with alcohol to kind of vintage things up. I have a mirror back there, and that is mainly so that I can check when I'm sitting here what you see in the video. Although I have set up my iPad to do that now. I don't always do that though. Over to this side, remember I told you I didn't have a huge caddy. That's because I have other types of tools that I'll use all the time. Sitting right here, my scrubby to scrub my desk, my other tools that I use all the time to clean and to craft or whatever. So they're within reach, so then I don't have to worry, go looking for them. Over here I have, these are my most used tools and punches, okay, that I reach for all the time, that I use constantly while I'm sitting here. My stapler, my hole punches, that kind of thing. They're all in here. Some of my corner punches. I have a bunch of stirring sticky things, some straws, some other paint brushes. My other rulers are up here. And then this whole thing is just more tools that I use all the time, that I just keep in this little carrier. I can pull it down if I want to. I can pull this down. But anyway, it's right next to me so that I don't have to go anywhere to find it. Let me go up above. Okay, so I do have to stand to get these, okay, but they are very close by. These are my other punches that I use all the time, but not as often. Okay, so I can get those. Over to the left, over there, those are other punches that I don't use that often, but they're all here and I can get them. Above on this top shelf, that is all like glue refills. And occasionally when you see me doing a video, I might get up to get glue and it's right there. To the very left is refills, and that very last container, and I'm trying to go down slowly. The refills are for this right here, and in here I have all of my different eyelets and brads and things that I might use, and they're all in different containers, and I can just pull that down and get into it when I need it, my bulb pins, whatever. And so I have those. I buy in bulk, so I have a lot. This and this caddy are probably going to change because I don't get in those very often. It has some other decorative scissors, another eyelet tool. This has extra pens and things I don't use. And so I think I'm going to end up moving all of that and maybe this down here and put a lot more of my alcohol markers, my watercolor markers, distress crayons, things like that, so that I have them at hand so I use them more. I mean, I just know that when things are close, you'll use them more. And you know, of course you can't have everything close, but you know, just right now I'm going, well, I don't remember the last time I've gotten these. Okay, the chocolate, no, all the time. But the other stuff, okay, I haven't used those, so I'm going to move those and trade that out to another area and use the stuff I would like to use more and put it in here. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be changing. Okay, so I'm going to go under my desk here. So let me see if I can move some light over here. Okay, let's see. Here we go. All right. Oop, I moved too fast. Here we go. Okay, so I'm trying to do this, and so you can see. Okay, so I have 4 of these under my desk. One of the things, and I'll go over that in a minute, but let me move this. This is a silicone mat that I use, that I love. But I keep that on top of here. I like having the room on here. I took all the wheels off of these so that I would have room on top of these. You may not want to do that. I don't really see a need to move these around, and I still can move them around. They're not heavy, but I just didn't feel the need to have the wheels on there. One of the things I have under here, make sure I get that in the shot. This is where I keep my wipes in this little container. Oops, it's falling off. Okay. And then underneath it, I have my little scrubbies and all that kind of stuff. And this is on a little holder thing that I got from, I believe it was Tuesday morning. But what it's for is to put under your sink. And I put it on the side of this cart because I wanted to have something that would hold my wipes and my scrubby. And I think there's a magic eraser and cloth there. And the reason I want that is because I'm using them all the time. So I wanted to be able to use that. In this top drawer, let me move this thing over here. This is all mainly office kind of stuff. My computer cord, my other cords. This is a little notebook thing that I use when I make videos that I look at, believe it or not, when I make a video. This is just a little planner that I use just for expenses. Thank you cards. This just has, I don't remember, just other little stamps and things that if I don't want to take my ephemera book out, just some extra paper. The second drawer, I have things that I use all the time that I need to get to. And I have that in there, just like my little stamping pad. I use this for putting lines on paper, parchment paper, just different things like that. Okay, and this is my my current glue book that I'm using. The last drawer is just all planner stuff that I use. These are all stickers, and this is little stamps, and these are just punches. Okay, let me try and move this way. Try not to go too fast. I'm trying to go slow, guys. I really am. Okay, so behind here, let me move that. This is the other little, let me see if I can move this so it's not in the way in the shot. Oh gosh, here we go. Let me move that up one. Okay, so this is my glue gun that I keep on top of one of the other tubs, one of the other drawers, plastic drawers. And this is a little stand that I made that has my glue stick and my little thingy that I got at the dollar store. And that way I can plug it in right here, just leave it here as I'm using it. I put my plugs back up here, mainly because this is just some of them. I want to be able to have easy access to them. I don't want to have to pull this thing out and go behind there and get it, whatever. I also have, let me move over here. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, I'm over here. Okay, this hook right here, I put here to hold my heat gun, which is probably 20 years old and looks like it, but it still works. And then I have below that, this isn't a heat gun, this is just a blow dryer, because sometimes you don't want a heat gun, you just want less heat. So I have those two there. Let's see, I have, in these drawers, I have, go in here, this is just music paper, all vintage music paper, and I keep, that's all that's in that drawer. This drawer has all vintage dictionary pages, all different languages, whatever, you know, French, English, German, whatever. And the very last drawer has just very old book pages. I don't really keep any more the other ones. I keep a few, but not very many, simply because you can have too much of a good thing. Okay, let me see if I can turn this around a little bit. Get a little bit more light over here. Okay, so right next to my desk, I used to have a lot of this stuff scattered in drawers and stuff, and I didn't like having to dig for it. And you know how I was talking about how you clean out your closet? Well, I had a lot of costume jewelry, and I had it stored in these in my closet, and it just dawned on me. I kept seeing people use shoe holders, you know, over their door, but for my purposes, I don't have a lot of punches, and I do have the punches stored above me that I do have. So that really wouldn't serve a purpose. It'd be too big. So anyway, I just decided to use these things, and I'm telling you guys, this is a great solution for all those little things. Like, here is my little distress tool. I've got a little piece of filing thing here. Here's another sand block. I've got some white out, some Goo Gone, my little brush I use. These are my little eraser things. You know how that you just end up, they're little, you put them in a drawer, you got to find them. I have a little bit of tape, different types of tape down here. Some foam dots, whatever your craft is. You always have these little tchotchkes that you have to find a place for, right? I mean, you're always trying to figure out, and then you have to put them somewhere and you're digging. I use clips all the time, or clasps, whatever you call them, you know. So anyway, also, if you collect distress oxides, I just started to. I have more sprays than I have these pads, because I use it more on mixed media. But the ones I do have, and if I have more, I can certainly clean out some of this. I planned on taking all this out. But they fit perfectly in here. you can get these holders anywhere. I've seen them at Michael's. I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. I've seen them all over. Okay, so just a thought, and they're not super expensive. Get a coupon, get them, and they're a very good organizer. I've got my Nuvo. I don't have a lot, but the ones I do have, I just keep in here. I've got some re-inkers in here that I use all the time. I've got my latex gloves. If you use alcohol ink, you can get that stuff on your hands. It's there for a week. So if I have my gloves handy, I might use them. This coconut oil I put on my hands all the time. They're always dry. This Vaseline I kind of use as a resist. Just that's kind of stuff I have right next to me. Now, I'm not going to go in this cabinet because I'm going to do that on my detailed tour. But anyway, I did want to talk about my mat. Oops, I don't want to be too shaky here on my desk a little bit. Okay, so when I'm filming, I use this black mat that I just got, and I really like it. And then when I'm not filming, I use my old mat that's right underneath it, so I forget to sometimes do that, but I just dropped something. Let me pick this up. And then, honestly, when I'm doing mixed media, I just bought this mat that I love. Love it. And this is a really cool craft mat that I got on Amazon. They have all different kinds, but this is a big one. And I like it for filming because it's black. But boy, I tell you what, this thing is so easy to clean. You can just, stuff comes right off of it. And if you can take it to, it just bunches up. You can take this to your sink and clean it off. It's fantastic. I will try and remember to link that. If I don't, remind me. I always say I'm going to do that and then I forget. Anyway, so that I use all of those. Okay. And to the left, I have my glass mat, and I put that there just because I do a lot of mixed media and stuff like that. And I want to try and remember to put stuff on here so it doesn't get too nasty. But that being said, underneath that, I have this piece of glass. It doesn't go the whole length of this table, but it is from a desk that one of my sons was getting rid of, and it covers a good portion of my work surface. So I have that on top of this table. Now, I don't know if I said this or not. If I did, I apologize. This is a table that I got, a kitchen table that I bought for one of my sons when he was, after he graduated, moving into an apartment. And it had chairs and it was white. And I painted it black because the other pieces of furniture that I brought into this room were already black. Okay, so anyway, but this is chalk paint, and the chalk paint starts chipping off, whatever. So the glass table helps with that, and also for cleanup. So anyway, it doesn't cover the whole thing, and I don't need it to. And then I use this glass mat on top of it. It's kind of redundant, but anyway. Okay, so I also have this light, and I use it all over. I like it because it moves. It provides backlighting, and it's on a clip that I can put on the side of my desk and move it around. Okay, so this part is my other drawer that I have. On top of it, I have my most used cutter that I can just take out and put it on my desk anytime I want. Top drawer, I have in this container, I have my ink pads that I use, my watering can, and my black ink, archival ink. And then I have a few stamps that I use all the time. And I just keep that in there because, honestly, I have a stamp rolling cart, and I was having to go get just these inks and bring it out, bring it back. And I thought, no, that's kind of crazy. And that's what kind of my thinking behind all this. These I have just some different beads. Not a lot, just a few. When you see my big tour, you'll see where I have all that. But I have those in there just so that if I want one or two little beads to put on a bulb pin or something, I can. This is just kind of my leftover gilding flakes that I put in this thing if I wanted to use just a couple. This container has all just little glass bowl things that I use to put glue or whatever in. This is just, I may mix things. These are these little plastic containers that I use all the time to put things in that I get from, all this is from the dollar store. This is alcohol in a little pump thing, and this is hand sanitizer. I use this to get stuff off my hands, guys. This works better than anything. It gets glue off, gets ink off, everything, okay? The same reason I have these cotton balls in there. I have some ring cleaner in here, and I have that just because I'm always getting gook on my rings. And this is just some little alcohol wipes that I use to clean stuff off with. Let's see here. These are just like, I have little dangly things that I made. A few eyelets and brads. I have a pencil sharpener. Probably should not be in there. Should probably be on the other side. And these are just some little cutouts that I have in case I need one. Some hole reinforcers. Just kind of things that I might need to grab really quickly and I don't want to dig around for. This stuff in here, this is all stuff that I had on my mixed media cart, but I realized I was reaching for it all the time. And I was ending up keeping that stuff, my mixed media cart, out all the time. I don't really have room for it. So what I've done with this is I've taken the things I use all the time. These little tray things I got at Walmart. I think you can get them just about anywhere. But I have everything divided like that. This is where I keep all of my brown kind of stains and stuff like that. My patty pockets, my other stains, like droppers. And this is just what I use when I'm kind of staining things, okay? This is my gesso, my Liquitex. I have some wax beads in there. I have more gesso. I have just some Vicky Bouton Creative Fix. This is just mainly for stenciling. I have a few colors of this in there, not a lot, but just a little, just so that I can have access to it quickly. I have these brushes all in here, a few other tools that I use, just so I have quick access to it. Let's see, what is this down here? This is more of kind of the same. I have a lot of my Distress Oxide sprays in here. I've got Distress ink, the little ones in here, because I don't use them a lot. So they're kind of all in there. I just took the top off of that. Okay, oh well, I'll have to make sure I put that back together. I have all of my gilding flakes in here, because I use those a lot. I have my little pad that I use when I punch holes. I have these glass containers that I use to mix things. I have some Rub and Buff in here. I have some more Distress Oxide in here. I have a few of my Distress crayons that I use. So that's pretty much what I have in there. And that's kind of like just a permanent little cart that I have the things that I use these a lot. So the cart is great, and I guess if you could keep it next to you, I just don't have room for that. That being said, here, let me see. I am going ahead and show you quickly. I'm sitting in my desk. I'm trying not to spin around too far. I brought my cart out here because I want to show you my situation. I will bring a cart. This is my mixed media cart. And I will bring it right next to me and put it right here. And I have plenty of room to maneuver and have my cart next to me. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more thing. that I think is pertinent to my desk situation. I'm going to go ahead and bring it over here. This is my sewing machine cart, and this is something that I bought this at Michael's, and I bought it when it was on sale. And this is one of those things that I knew was perfect and would work perfect, and I probably would have even paid full price because, quite honestly, it saves a lot for me. I used to have my sewing machine on a table across the room, and I was having to go to my sewing machine instead of my sewing machine coming to me. And I like things to come to me. And I'm going to put this over here so you can see what I'm talking about in my small little room. Try and stand back. So what happens is my sewing machine can go at the end of my desk and stay there if I want it to. I mean, I can leave it there. I have enough room to walk by, in and out. I don't have to put it in that corner if I don't want to. I don't have to go to it. I'm going to try and move slowly. It's so hard. Okay, and so if I sit in my chair, I can pull my sewing machine right to me. And it has the plug right there. I have an outlet, and I'll show you that. When I rearranged all my stuff, I put it all down there. And it has all its outlets and stuff, so I can just plug stuff right in. So anyway, that is what I can do. And I can just sew. And this little cart also has, and I can't put it up right now with one hand, but it has this little side thing here that comes up, and it's very sturdy, and it's so cool. I can plug this little light on. I keep this light right there. I take my other light that I have, and it's hard to do with one hand again. Let me try and move it around. See if I can move that around. There we go. And so I have it right next to me, and I can sew. Also right next to me on the left-hand side, I'm turning and I'm in my chair. I have this cart that I also bought. I bought these at the same time. I took my measurements. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I needed, and these are things that I bought specifically to fit these needs, okay? So this is all of my ribbons, all ribbons, and they do need to be organized. Again, like I told you, I'm at a starting point, not an ending point. And these are just ribbons in all of these drawers, okay? And this is tulle up here in this container, okay? In this thing where my sewing is, this is all lace, okay? So these are all different laces, and I do have them somewhat organized, but they could definitely do better. So these are all different laces that I have, and I have them in there, okay? Here I have eyelash trim, different twine, different blingy sari silk. This is colored lace, different colors, sari silk ribbon, and this is my pink box because I do a lot of things with pink. This is my sewing machine cover. This is the box full of lace and ribbon pieces, okay? This is just fabric pieces, and they're small pieces, not big ones. And on my sewing machine, I have my little cutting, my scissors, my little cutter, my seam ripper, and I also have a few of these little containers where I have a few things on there. I have a few extra bobbins and needles and pins, and I just keep them on there. So anyway, I keep this next to me, and a lot of times it is sitting right at the edge of my desk. I don't put it back in that corner, so I can just roll it toward me, even if I'm not sewing, even if I'm just trying to get to my lace and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, that is a tour of my desk and everything around it. And coming up soon will be the detailed craft room tour. And like I said, this is a beginning. not the end. This is where I'm starting to move into my next phase of organizing. I do know I need to do a lot more cleaning, dusting, organizing, all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to show you where I am and some of the things that worked for me that may work for you. Okay, so we'll see you soon.